There really is nothing like it. I'm here today in California with a very simple message for the American people. We cannot allow Comrade Kamala Harris and the communist left to do to America what they did to California. The state of California is a mess with people leaving, and nothing's going to stop them. They're going to other states. Some are going to other countries. But what they've done, Gavin Newsom and Kamala, and I want to say Kamala more so, she destroyed San Francisco and she destroyed the state. When you look at the kind of destruction that's taken place, it's all man-made or woman-made destruction, too. It's things that should have never happened, but we're not going to let that happen with 4 more years of her in the White House, because if you have what happened to this country as what they allowed to happen in California and San Francisco, one of the great cities of the world 15 years ago, and today it's not in a very good position, to put it mildly, in this state, which is probably the best piece of real estate in the world. The state, you have the sunshine, you have the ocean, you have everything. You have the perfect weather, the best weather, and they've hurt it so badly, so badly. Decades ago, San Francisco was known as one of the most beautiful cities anywhere in the world. A friend of mine, a friend of a lot of the people here, Bob Tisch, used to say San Francisco is the best city in the United States, the best city there is. And he passed away a number of years ago, but he wouldn't believe it. He used to always talk about San Francisco as our greatest city. He owned Lowe's, good company, great company. And he would say it constantly, and now you see what's happened. And it can be brought back, just like our country can be brought back, because we're a nation in decline. The decline of this whole state is one of the sad chapters in what's gone on with the radical left lunatics that we have to put up with. As the San Francisco district attorney, Kamala was the godmother of sanctuary cities. She was right out there at the forefront, and also the movement of defunding the police. She was there right at the beginning. She boasted, quote, "We are a sanctuary city and we always will be." Well, they're sanctuary cities of crime. One of the people that Kamala gave sanctuary city to and put in as DA was Edwin Ramos, an illegal alien MS-13 gang member who savagely murdered a father and his 2 sons after mistaking them for members of a rival gang. She knew this, and she came to his defense. He had previously been arrested for robbing a pregnant woman and killing many, they say. Kamala refused to get him out of our country, and he went on to do very significant damage. She also gave sanctuary to illegal alien Ronnie Aguilera, who murdered a 14-year-old boy, nearly decapitating him with a sword. He enjoyed watching this take place with a sword by his hand. Kamala launched her tenure as DA with a San Francisco police group described as a, quote, fire sale for plea deals. They made plea deals. The only one they don't make a plea deal with is Trump. They go after their political opponent, especially when they haven't done anything wrong. You saw more charges were dropped yesterday in Atlanta, Georgia. It's all politically inspired. It's all against their political opponent. We won the case in the big case. They said the big case. I've completely won that case. The documents case in Florida. Case was thrown out with deranged Jack Smith, deranged prosecutor, that if he devoted his efforts to violent crime and to the border, which they should have, would be in a lot better position as a country. In one sweetheart deal, Kamala gave only 12 years to a monster known as David Taylor, who got high on crack and murdered a 65-year-old mother with a hammer and a pair of scissors. He wanted to come out, and she wanted to get him out as quickly as possible. In another plea deal, she gave only 6 years to a man who killed a disabled veteran with a knife and then left his body to rot in a bathtub. Kamala refused to seek the death penalty for a gang member who murdered San Francisco police officer Isaac Espinosa during a traffic stop, very innocent traffic stop. To explain her decision, why would you do this? Why would you give such leniency to somebody that just killed his officer's son? A major, the San Francisco Police Officers Association has refused her single race since she became district attorney. The police don't endorse her. She's got virtually no endorsements now, but I have almost every police group in the United States. We just got the endorsement of almost 400,000 police. You saw that. And just police group in the country. The endorsement just about every single police group in the United States. And unadulterated, they are so happy to endorse. After Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom took charge of San Francisco, homelessness increased by over 200%, while Comrade Kamala Harris was Attorney General of this state. Murders rose significantly. Car thefts went through the roof. Gun assaults rose at levels never seen before. Attorney General, she defined child sex trafficking, assault with a deadly weapon, and rape of an unconscious person as nonviolent crimes. She put them in a new category as nonviolent. Now, as vice president, she's facilitated the largest wave of sex trafficking and human trafficking in history, the history of our country by far. And in case you don't want to write about it, which you should, because there can be no bigger scandal than this, we have, under this administration, 325,000 migrant children are missing. 325,000. In other words, take your biggest stadium in California and you could fill it up 5 or 6 times. Those are all missing children. Many of them are dead. Many of them are sex slaves and slaves of different nature. But her destruction of the law and order in California did not end there. In 2020, Kamala Harris proudly endorsed defund the police. We're going to defund the police. Anybody that was even in favor of defunding the police for 1 month, let alone her entire career, should never be president of the United States. She supported a plan to cut the LA Police Department by at least 150.
And we seem to have lost our signal from this live event. We will work to resolve the issue, and we hope to resume our live coverage shortly.
Be District Attorney of Los Angeles, and with Kamala's support, Gascon has unleashed hell upon the residents of Los Angeles, absolute hell. Kamala supported Gascon's decision to stop prosecuting criminals for trespassing, disturbing the peace, making criminal threats, loitering to commit prostitution, and resisting arrest. And these are some of the best areas in your state. They were left alone. They were protected by him, actually protected by him. They've been trying to get him out for a long time, but she helped. And this is where she's coming from as president. This is where she's coming from. This is why all of her policies changed. She was anti-fracking. She was anti-everything. And all of a sudden, she changed. Even the first question she was given at the debate gave one of the dumbest answers. They were asking about pricing and would you be better off today or 4 years ago? Prices have gone up at numbers that nobody's ever seen before. And just the concept of being better off, she didn't give the answer. She talked about when she grew up, nobody knew what the hell she was talking about. And based on the polls, it didn't work because Rasmussen, as you probably saw, just came out, and they just lifted me up by 6 points for president, which is one of the biggest increases they've ever had in one little short period of time of a couple of days, up 6 points. And I thought the debate was great. I thought I did very well, but I was fighting three people. I was fighting the crazy left radical lunatics at ABC, I think considered the worst broadcaster out there. George Slobodanopoulos, that whole group, they're bad. And I lost a lot of respect for David Muir. He came at me with things, and we'll go over it in a second, but I was right about the crime stats going way up. The fact is the FBI didn't report them, and were able to keep the stats essentially flat. But the new numbers came out. I guess somebody in government likes me because the new numbers were just released, and you'll see the kind of numbers that we're talking about went not only up, but up at record levels like nobody's seen before when everything was included. And thanks to Kamala, since 2020, crime and drug overdose deaths here have skyrocketed by 40, 50, and 60%, and murder has reached an all-time high. We don't want this for our country. That's why I'm doing this. I don't like doing this, other than I know you all have the nicest view you're going to ever have. But somebody's got to explain this one. There's a radical left, Marxist, communist, fascist. As border czar, she then launched a colossal invasion of California's southern border. Just yesterday, the Wall Street Journal reported that a Venezuelan gang is expanding its deadly reach in the United States. First sentence of the story begins, U.S. law enforcement officials have watched with alarm the spread of a Venezuelan gang known for dismembering people. Dismembering people, right? Dismembering people. From Chile to Colombia, they're all over the place. Now they're in our country. They're known as MS-13. They're considered the meanest, toughest gang in the world. In Long Island, not so long ago, two young 16-year-old girls were walking to school, and they carved them up with a knife. They killed both of them. They carved them up with a knife. They didn't want to shoot them. And we got them out. I got them out so fast, and we did a big number. And I wanted to thank ICE while I'm at it, because ICE has been unbelievable. Border Patrol has been unbelievable. And she wants to get rid of ICE. She wants to dismember ICE. She wants to take them out. And if you didn't have ICE, you'd have a problem in this country. But not only is Comrade Kamala allowing illegal aliens to stampede across our border, but then it was announced about a year ago that they're actually flying them in. Nobody knew that. They were secretly flying in hundreds of thousands of people. Some of the worst murderers and terrorists you've ever seen. They were taking anybody that wanted to come in. And they're flying them in. So when they tell you about their borders a little bit better than it used to be, they only did that for election reasons. Not good, but it's a little bit better. But they don't tell you that the flights are still coming in here, bringing in thousands and thousands of illegal aliens, and they're being dropped into the midsection of our country, because all states are really border states right now. And I'm the border president. I solved it in 2016, probably got elected because of that in 2016. And really, there was nothing to do in 2020. I said to my people, I want to talk about the border, what a job I did. They said, sir, nobody cares you did it. It was good. We went from a terrible border to a great border very quickly. I did a great job. And then I come in and I look at what's happening now, and the only difference is that the border in 2016 was 1/20th what it is now. We have the worst border in the history of our world, of the world. There's never been a border like this. And I want to be the border president, and I hope you call me the border president, because I'm going to show you what a border security job we can do, and we're going to do a job like never has been done before. There's never been a border like this. I believe the real number is 21 million people are here, and many are thugs, criminals. And remember this, if you go to South America and if you go to these countries that have taken their prisoners out of their jails to empty their jails and dumped them into the United States like we're a dumping ground, you're going to see their crime rates have gone down by 50, 60, 70, and 80%. If you look at Caracas, Venezuela, they took their criminals and drug dealers and rapists off the street and they dumped them into the United States of America. Dumping ground, they call it. We're a dumping ground for Venezuela because we have stupid people running our country. And you think Biden's bad? This one's going to be worse than Biden. Over the past 3.5 years, Kamala has resettled 500,000 illegal migrants from Haiti into American communities, including over 200,000 who Kamala has illegally flown into the United States by airplane when they couldn't get through the border because the border guards backed up. They were refusing to let them in. They don't want to. They love this country. They're saying, you can't do this to our country. They flew them in right over the top of the border guards, and they're doing it right now. A president has a duty to keep you safe. Kamala will turn America into a poor, violent, third world refugee camp. It already sort of is. We have elections that are a mess, and we have a border that's the worst of any border ever in the world. There's never been a country ever in the world that's allowed 21 million people to come across in a short period of time. And children and the children of American citizens are at the mercy of barbaric criminals. You take a look at what's happening in Colorado. The governor's afraid to even talk about it. The governor, he's a Democrat. Colorado, I hope you're going to vote for Trump because you're being stampeded by your own politicians. The governor can't talk about it because he can't go against the policies of these lunatics that want all these people to come into our country without knowing who they are. We don't even know where they come from. As of last week, I was told by Tom Homan, we had 168 countries represented over the last 12 months. In other words, people came in illegally from 168 different countries. Most people don't know there's that many countries. There's more than that in the world. We'll know them all pretty soon, I'm sure. David Muir tried to correct me when I said that crime is rampant like never before. He said, oh, no. He said, crime is going down. I said, where are you coming from? And, you wouldn't have to need a Bureau of Justice statistics to know that crime is worse than it's ever been. And I guess they probably watched the debate and they heard this foolish man, this foolish fool, make that statement to me that, no, crime is coming down. The FBI said it was coming down. The FBI defrauded everybody because what they did is they used statistics not including some of the worst areas and some of the worst cities. So the real numbers are from the Bureau of Justice Statistics, and they just released it. So I think they probably like me because they wanted to defend me. They just released brand new numbers just out last night, late, showing that since 2020, so this guy, David Muir, was correcting me, the FBI. Now, the FBI defrauded, just like they defrauded on the jobs, 118,000 jobs that didn't exist. The FBI, in this case, defrauded. So violent crime, just out, nationwide is up 40%. Rape is up 42%. Car theft is up 42%. Aggravated assaults are up 55%. And violent attacks on strangers are up much more than 61%. So those are your numbers. See, those are the numbers. Now, I think he corrected me 11 times. Of the 11 times, I don't think he had the right to correct me at all. Didn't correct her once. Like on Project 2025, I have no idea about it. Had nothing to do with me. He didn't correct her. He knew that. Charlottesville, nothing was done wrong. All you had to do is read my statement, one more sentence, and you would have seen that. I'm going to save Social Security, and I'm going to make it good, and we're not going to raise the age, just as I did for 4 years when many Democrats wanted me to do something about it. And she'll go around saying, oh, Trump is going to do bad things to Social Security. No, she's going to do, because she's putting these illegal immigrants onto Social Security, onto Medicare, and she's going to destroy those programs, and the people are going to have to pay. But I'm going to save them. But David Muir said exactly, I quote, President Trump, as you know, this is after I made the statement that crime is at record numbers. President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is coming down in this country. Now, anybody that says it's coming down, when you look at all of the migrant crime and all of the other crime, and this doesn't even include most of the migrant crime. So it's up 55, 65, 75, and 85. In one case, one category is up 89%. And these numbers have just been released by the government. I appreciate the person that released them. I think he came to my defense, actually. But the people understand it. In fact, he was wrong. The FBI totally fudged the numbers, and I really believe it's actually a fraud what the FBI did. It's a fraud. In fact, the David Muir character, he's lost so much respect. Everyone's talking about him. He's a joke. And ABC News is a joke, too. But most of the fake news is pretty much of a joke. And then you have Kamala's claim that she worked at McDonald's. She never worked at McDonald's. It's a lie. They went in, they investigated it, and the fake news won't report that. They won't report it. The only one that reported it was Fox, but the fake news won't. She never worked at McDonald's. She said she stood over those French fries when they were being fried, and it was so tough work. She never worked there. She's a liar. She's a liar. But the fake news ought to report she's a liar, because that sounds like a little thing, but it's a big thing, because it tells you they lie. They lie about everything. They lie about statements on the military. Nobody loves the military more than me. She got up today. She said things that were just lies. She's just made up. What's bad for Trump? Oh, this would be, say something bad about the military. Oh, he said bad about the military. Just like McDonald's, a total lie. That's the way they do it. And her VP choice, I think, will go down as a catastrophic choice. Now, maybe I'll be wrong. I'll let you know on November 6th. But I can't believe that that guy is an asset. They had other people that would have been. Comrade Kamala Harris and the communist left have also destroyed the economy and the quality of life all across this state and all across our country. As vice president, what she's done to our country is not even thinkable. California has the highest inflation, the highest taxes, the highest gas prices, the most illegal aliens, the most regulations, the most expensive utilities, and it ranks as the third worst state to start a business. It also has the most people leaving it. I love this place. Look at this. I own this. No partners, no mortgage, no nothing. I own it. And I'm talking so badly about the state. It hurts me to do it. I would never do this except for the fact that I'm running for president and I want to save the country. So I'd rather sacrifice this than lie or not speak. But think of it. I'm knocking the hell out of the state of California. I'm saying how bad she was and what a bad job she's done. What a horrible Governor Newsom has been. He's been horrible. So many people leaving. And I'm hurting my own property. And that cost me lots of money. But it's okay, because this is unimportant compared to saving the United States of America. So I do it for that reason. But those are the numbers, what Kamala Harris's policies will do to America. The cost of living here is nearly 40% higher than the national average. And the cost of housing is 97% higher. And the national average is through the roof. And it all took place in the last 3.5 years because I had no inflation, essentially no inflation. And it stayed that way for 2 years. So it wasn't like, oh, gee, it was ready to pop. No, we had it done. We had it down to a science. We had no inflation, 1.4%, which is perfect. That's better than no. That's a perfect number. If you go to the economists, they said, because you want a little bit, but you don't want much. It's a perfect number. It was perfect. The country was perfect. They also passed a law that allows state authorities to take children from their parents if they don't, quote, affirm their child's gender identity. When Kamala Harris said the values that she has have never changed, I really think that was probably the only true statement that she made. They've stayed true, and you look at what they are. They're the same as what they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. They want to confiscate your guns. They want to take your guns away. They're going to take your guns away if I'm not elected. Anybody that owns a gun, if you vote for them, you're crazy. Any Jewish person that votes for Kamala is crazy. She wouldn't go to see the Prime Minister of Israel in Congress. Think of that, because she had a sorority party, which she considered to be more important. It's a big deal when a Prime Minister comes to Congress and speaks, and she doesn't want to go because she's at a sorority party. But that wasn't really the reason. The real reason is that she hates Israel. And I say that Israel will not exist in 2 years from now if she's elected president. And she'll be very happy if that happened. Israel will not mark me down. You know, they have a hat, and I didn't put it. they say, you know, Trump was right about everything. I've been right about everything. So I end on that, and I just want to say that I'm going to hopefully be elected. Polls have gone way up since the debate. I'm going to be reelected and come in for a second time. We did, as I said, much better the second time than we did the first, but some bad things happened. But we're doing it now, and more importantly, I'm looking to the future. We're going to make our country bigger, better, greater than ever before. We're going to turn it around. We're going to get rid of the criminals that have been allowed to come into our country and prey upon our citizens, their children. We're going to get them out. And it's an honor that you're here. If you'd like to take some questions.
Two questions. On the debate, first of all, I know you've said that you will not do another debate. Some of your own Republican allies have come out and said that you missed the mark. That you missed
No, excuse me. Most of my Republican allies had said I was great in the debate. You're just like, you know, a lot of other people at Fox. Well, why don't you say most 94% of the Republicans said I did phenomenally in the debate. Some said that I could have been tougher. I don't know how I could have been tougher when I said he's the worst president and she is the worst vice president in the history of our country. 94% of the Republicans, and the only one that wouldn't, maybe a Mitt Romney or somebody like that. But we've gotten great praise for the debate, and based on the polls, like Rasmussen being up 6 today, the first poll out, based on the polls, obviously, I did well in the debate. Also, based on the debate polls, where I sometimes had, in one case, 92% win. So, you know, look, you come from Fox. You shouldn't play the same game as everybody else. Go ahead.
Question regarding the economy. We're seeing more and more companies they're shipping their jobs overseas, but even for white-collar jobs,
right,
they're having problems with that. We've been seeing mass layoffs. How would you prevent these white-collar jobs from being used out?
By lowering taxes and regulations. And what they're doing is they're seeing that every time it looks like Kamala's doing well, companies want to leave. Stock markets go down. The stock market, there's a great gentleman, Scott Bessent, who is one of the top Wall Street people. He said the market's only up because they all think that Trump is going to get elected. We had a great stock market. Even with COVID, we ended up handing over a market that was higher than previous to COVID or the China virus coming in. No, we are going to make sure that the taxes are going to stay where they are and or come down, ideally come down, both for the middle class and for corporations, because corporations put the people to work. We had the best numbers in the history of our country, by far, not even close. And there are companies leaving because they cannot stand what's happening right now to our country. And one of the reasons I'm doing this today is to let them know you're not going to have to leave because we're going to take care of the problem. They have a tremendous crime problem. Like if you're in Los Angeles, look at the crime numbers. And then you have the FBI lying about the numbers, saying the numbers went down. But anybody with common sense know the numbers are through the roof. I didn't know they were as high as they are. But think of it. How good is a person from a government agency that would release the numbers when they saw that I was unfairly targeted by ABC, and you could say by the FBI with false numbers? So I mean, I have great respect. I have to find out who that person is or who that group is, but I have great respect. Go ahead, one more. Yep.
Let's talk about California. You are claiming that we need to do major changes in this state. If you're president, what's the biggest policy difference for the people of California? And what would the nature of your relationship be with the leaders of California who you're calling scum? How do you get that?
Well, I would have a great relationship with them. And what you have to do is start all over again. You cannot have these policies of high taxation. You can't have these policies of politics where you go after your politicians. You have to have an honest voting system because, you know, you don't have an honest voting system. They send out millions and millions of ballots. They go all over the place. Some people get 2, 3, 4, 5. You have a very dishonest system over here. If I ran with an honest vote counter in California, I would win California. But the votes are not counted honestly. It's a very dishonest system that you have in California. And I'd make it business friendly. Right now, it's business unfriendly. Look, Elon Musk is a friend of mine. He endorsed me very powerfully. He endorses me every time he speaks. He really wants to see us win because he knows we can do a great job and turn it around. He left California. I said to him, Elon, did anybody ever call you? It's a big company. He moved to Texas. A lot of people moving to Texas. Great state. Excellent governor, an excellent lieutenant governor. Great people. They love entrepreneurs. They love the people that live there. They want to keep their taxes low. Taxes are way too high here. But I said to Elon, so you have a big company and you're moving it to Texas from California. Did anybody call you, like the governor, to try and get you to stay? No. Did anybody see you, write a letter, do anything to try and keep you to stay? You have thousands of jobs. He said, nobody ever called. There'd be so many things you could do. This would be the easiest place to turn around if they knew what to do. Look at it. I mean, look at the weather. We're standing out here on the Pacific Ocean in the most beautiful weather. A lot of states don't have weather like this. They don't have Pacific Oceans. So it's many things you could do, but you start with lowering taxes and making it friendly. But think of it, Elon Musk, a great guy, brilliant guy, big company, lots of jobs, leaving. Nobody even calls him to try and get him to stay. I would have been on him. I would have said, let's have lunch, let's have dinner, and then let's have breakfast the following morning, right? I would have tried to talk him out of it.